Okay, we'll start. Hi everyone. I'm Priyank, and we do these Discord sessions regularly with different people. Today we have Max from HodlHodl. He's the CEO of HodlHodl. Let me first introduce. Like he has been working in banking industry in the past. He was he is the organizer for Baltic Honey Badger Conference and the host of 48.tv. And if you don't know about HodlHodl, it's a peer-to-peer, non-custodial, non-KYC exchange which uses 2 of 3 multi-sig smart contracts on Bitcoin. You can use this exchange to buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, and different payment methods are supported for this. We'll have a session in which I'll be asking few questions, and even you can have questions about HodlHodl and in general about Bitcoin. So, Max, let's start with the first question. Thank you for joining for this session. And
yeah, thank you for having me. We're not active on Indian market, but hopefully after this conversation, we will at least better understand what people in India needs in terms of peer-to-peer trading, and hopefully we'll be able to deliver.
Sure. And English not being my first language, if you don't understand something, feel free to repeat. I can like repeat myself if you don't
No
understand
worries. No worries.
something.
Not my first language as well. I'm Russian. So
Okay. So let's start with you. Like, would you like to give a background about yourself and how did you start researching about Bitcoin?
yeah, well, basically, you already mentioned that I was previously working in banking industry. I actually first was introduced to the Bitcoin by one of my former clients from the bank. He was pretty active back in the days in Bitcoin, and he also ran few startups that was dealing with the BTC. So this was, I think, back in 2014 or even 2013. So he told me about this new awesome technology, and I thought he's crazy. But then I started to learn about it, and I understood that, well, actually, there's huge potential for Bitcoin, and it's way more better than current financial system. So I started researching back in 2014, and in 2015, I left the bank and to work for one of my clients, and then we've co-founded with Roman HodlHodl and started developing this non-custodial exchange. We launched HodlHodl in 2008. That was February. So amongst all other peer-to-peer exchanges, like if you compare it to paxful or localbitcoins, we're pretty young because they started back in 2012 or even earlier, 2013, 2000. But we're growing. Unfortunately, we're not active in India, although I know that you have a solid and big market and a lot of people who are interested in crypto. I think India and Asia in particular is one of the driving forces for crypto. But yeah, I'm happy to explore together with you what to do for your local market and how we can help and how people can be interested in working with HodlHodl, because the tech is really amazing and we're very popular in Western countries, in Europe, in US, although we don't work in US, but the community there is actually know us for sure. We're popular in Russia, China, but not popular in India, and actually we have pretty low volume in India.
Yes, a lot of people in India use local Bitcoins, but they are not really active on HodlHodl. A lot of people have uh, told me about the lack of offers on HodlHodl. So I've personally asked few people to like create their own offers to start it. Let's see if we can get more people on HodlHodl, because it's obviously better than local Bitcoins or the other exchanges.
Yeah, we're non-custodial non-custodial, but local bitcoins was the first exchange, actual peer-to-peer exchange. They actually created a Bitcoin peer-to-peer market, so it's obvious that they're the most popular exchange. For now, they're implying KYC/AML. They also hold your fund, which we don't do, and we don't ask for KYC/AML. Only happy to explore and to listen to people what they want. I know that we spoke with you back in the days that we can also do some special promo campaigns for your local markets and for people that listen to this session. I'm happy to help you. Actually, in terms of offers, if you don't see any offer, you are free to create an offer by yourself because it's free, and market maker, the person who creates an offer, doesn't more than market taker. So it's basically the commission is split between two, and commission is pretty low. So you pay only 0.3% per trade if you compare this with local bitcoins where you pay 1%.
Okay, so let's start with the first question, which is how to trade on HodlHodl. So assume I'm a new user. I don't know how to trade on peer-to-peer exchanges. So what are the steps I need to follow in order to create an offer on HodlHodl to buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin?
Yeah, so you go to on HodlHodl. If you find an offer you like, you just accept this offer. Basically the workflow is basically the same as it's. Well, first of all, you pass the registration, which takes less than a minute. We only need a valid email that you confirm, and basically that's it. So then you browse the offer list. If you find offer, then you accept it and you engage in trade. If you don't find offer, you can create your own offer with your own terms. It will take, again, less than 2-3 minutes to create an offer. When you start a trade, for example, you've created an offer and you have a partner, you started a trade. If you are, let's explore the situation where you are the seller of Bitcoin and the guy who's trading with you, he's a buyer. So as a seller, you send Bitcoins to the unique escrow address that we've generated on a public Bitcoin blockchain. This unique escrow address has 3 keys. One goes to the buyer, one goes to the seller, and one goes to the HodlHodl. So you send this your Bitcoin directly from your wallet to this escrow address. We inform everyone, so every party, that Bitcoins are there, they're locked in escrow. Your counterparty sends you fiat, and as soon as you receive fiat, you release coins in his favor, and he receives them directly in his own wallet. That's why it's non-custodial, because we don't have any our wallets and we don't hold your funds. So all trades happens through the unique escrow addresses that we create for each particular trade each time. So that's how it happens. The workflow on the front end is the same as you have in any other peer-to-peer exchange. If you used local Bitcoins, then most probably will be way more easier for you to use HodlHodl, because we're really putting a lot of efforts to user interface and user experience. So yeah, and the escrow technology works, as you mentioned at the beginning, with 2 out of 3 signature, which means that you need to have a consensus, 2 keys, in order to release coins in favor of one party or another party. So in the case of a dispute, if a dispute will, then we will step in with our key, and when we will solve this dispute, we will release coins in favor, whether it's buyer or seller. So that's how.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. So it involves no KYC, it's peer-to-peer, and it's non-custodial because you don't hold the funds for any users. Recently, we had a hack incident on Bitsq exchange. So how do you plan to manage such things, or how is it better to trade on HodlHodl compared to Bisq in such things? Like if a hacker finds some vulnerabilities on HodlHodl website and he tries to exploit that, in that case, how could a user's funds be secure?
So yeah, if you will check out the history of the Bisq hack, which is an unfortunate event because we really like Bisq, we do think they're doing the great job. But the problem was that their addresses was compromised. So Bisq uses the system 2 out of 2 keys. So they don't have 3 keys like we have, although they had that in a previous. So in the past, they had the same system that we have. So the system worked in that way that they have 2 keys. And if you engage in dispute and you're not able to reach the consensus, then after 10 days, the coins that are locked in escrow get sent automatically to us. And at that point, the was that these addresses was changed by my hack. I'm not a technical person myself. I don't know how they manage this and how they pull it off this. But in case of the HodlHodl, in case of your dispute, you will be asked as a person who will win dispute to provide a release address. So basically, we're not able to send your coins to our address because obviously we don't have them, and we're not able to send them to any other address that you don't provide. We mitigate this risk that this. Yeah, basically, did I answer?
You said HodlHodl has 2 of 3, which is different from Bisq, which had 2 of 2. And in case
Yeah,
incident happens on HodlHodl, you will still have the keys to release the transaction to your own address, and hackers will not.
no. Yeah, we're not able to send this transaction to our own addresses because we need a second key, obviously, because it's 2 out of 3, so we only own 1. And when the dispute will be resolved, we will ask the winning party to provide a release address. So we're not able to create this address. And so yeah, there's the problem with the Bisq system was that they went from 2 out of 3 to 2 out of 2 with a time lock of 10 days. And in 10 days time, these coins that are locked in dispute are automatically sent to their own addresses, Bisq Foundation addresses, as far as that. And at that point, there was a hack was at that point because these addresses was somehow compromised by the. So yeah, this is an unfortunate thing to happen, but hopefully everything will be fine.
Okay. And there can be some other kind of disputes. For example, if a user who is trying to buy Bitcoin uses hacked bank accounts to send fiat to the seller of Bitcoin, in that case, how do you handle such disputes?
Yeah, for example, in Russia, it's a pretty popular way of scamming people in Eastern Europe. So in Russia, they just ask when they engage in trade in the contract page, they ask for a selfie with the card. So you need to have some kind of proof that this card or this account belongs to you. So basically, usually we don't request anything extra, and it's up to the seller or to the buyer to request information from your counterparty. So we just provide the technical tools, and that, but we cannot basically meet all risks. It's not possible at all. Even the centralized exchange get hacked, and even the centralized exchange works sometimes with fake, like stolen funds and all that stuff. So We are trying to do our best, but usually it's up to the trader to choose a proper counterparty, first of all, with the proper ratings, with the proper feedback, with the proper reputation. We do have a pretty solid and pretty good reputation and rating system in place. You can actually copy your profile from localbitcoins and a paxful with a trading history, and you can add this profile to your profile to HodlHodl, so people will see that you have a proper reputation on other peer-to-peer platforms. So yeah, and it's sometimes it's up for an individual or for a legal entity to mitigate this.
Okay, reputation system sounds good. Do you have any kind of limits as well on the first few trades for any user?
Yeah, we have limits, of course. We have you cannot trade more than one BTC per trade as a new trader, and you need to have a solid track record in order to go to the second limit level. And when you will be able to go to the second limit, of course, these limits will increase. So yeah, we have a limit system in place because we believe that your reputation is actually dependent on how good you trade, not how much you trade. Of course, we have this kind of security measures in place so that no new people can go and try to scam other people for a large amount of money. And actually, to be honest, for peer-to-peer markets, usually most amount of trades, most volumes trades are in low volume, like below 0.1 BTC, 0.2, something like that. So for many traders, there's even no need to trade more than one BTC per one single trade.
Okay, great. Let's talk about APIs. So I think recently you have shared the APIs and documentation to use APIs in different applications. And I think Bluewallet has already integrated HodlHodl using those APIs in their Android app. So, could you explain like a short description about the APIs and how do you plan to reach out to more people using those APIs in different apps?
Yeah, so in general, the API was requested by OTC desks and trading companies here in Europe. They were approaching us and asking, well, you need to create some kind of API so we can automate part of the trades that happening on HodlHodl. But then when we've developed API, we understood that this feature is much requested by wallet providers like mobile wallets, desktop wallets. So we are the first non-custodial exchange, actually, and this is pretty important, that actually have a fully trading API. So with our API, you can take our API and put it in your application, whatever you want, wallet, and you will be able to trade, to manage your orders, to manage your offer, to manage your account, whatever you want to do. It's pretty easy as far as we receive the feedback from the market. So Bluewallet currently is the first mobile wallet that actually integrated us in their application. Now it's only alpha version. It's available actually both on Android and iOS. It's only alpha version. So at the moment you can go to Bluewallet. You can push the button local trade. There you see the sign powered by HodlHodl, and you can check the offer list. That's the only functionality they have at the moment. But in 2 weeks they will develop a next level of functionality, and you will be able also to start trading on HodlHodl through Bluewallet. So basically, there will be no need for you to go to the website of HodlHodl. You can just install Bluewallet to your phone and trade directly from your phone. And we're actually in talks with several other mobile and desktop wallets. So what HodlHodl HodlHodl wants is to become a non-custodial, non-KYC liquidity provider for different types of wallet applications globally. So we're in talks with hardware wallets, we're in talks with mobile wallets, desktop wallets. So hopefully by the end of this year, you will see HodlHodl in many other applications globally. So that's the main idea behind this.
Okay, and Bluewallet is used by a lot of users as a Lightning wallet. So I am assuming that people will be able to buy Bitcoin amounts and I mean small amounts of BTC using Lightning because Lightning is already a payment method which is supported on HodlHodl.
Yeah, we actually was the first exchange that actually allowed people to trade through the not just to deposit funds and to release funds through the Lightning, but also trade through the Lightning channels. We enabled this feature last year in the beginning of June, but we actually disabled Lightning trades in January. Why? Because Lightning is custodial at the moment at the protocol level. And we're a non-custodial exchange, and we want to stay a non-custodial exchange. So at the moment, you can only Bitcoin on-chain trades on HodlHodl and on a Bluewallet as well. But we promise to our users that we will return and we will bring back the Lightning trades on HodlHodl. And we're currently in talks with several teams that work with Lightning. They develop software for Lightning. Hopefully, we will come up together with the idea how to make Lightning non-custodial. When we will reach this goal, then we will enable back Lightning trades on HodlHodl, and it will be non-custodial Lightning trades.
Cool. I'm also working on a app. I'm not sure like when will be I'll be able to like get the live version of it. But I was trying to integrate HodlHodl APIs plus API of a Lightning wallet and involve payment processor which supports the Indian fields like to accept the payments from Indian credit cards, debit cards, or online banking methods to make a simple application which can be used by people to buy Bitcoins in small amounts regularly, and they won't need a exchange or a wallet which stores the funds for them. They can be having their own keys, and at the same time they can use non KYC. So to explain this in short, it will be having HodlHodl APIs in the background working to buy the Bitcoin from the available offers. But for that, we need some Indian traders to be active on HodlHodl. So I'll share the link with you after this session. Maybe you can give some feedback about it.
Yeah, so we actually launched several weeks back then, some liquidity weeks for Indian traders, and we actually had some trades. So I would appreciate if you can guys share in Telegram the most popular payment methods that you use in India. We can add them to HodlHodl. We already have most of them in HodlHodl, and we can actually make them discounted trading fee or even close to zero fee. So you can just try it out, HodlHodl, and publish some offers, and by that maybe we can create some liquidity pools for Indian markets, because we see that there's a huge demand. And I know you've been struggling with your government in terms of regulation, and I'm really happy that at the moment at least you have some progress on that, and crypto is not anymore banned in India. So yeah, I'm happy to listen to any suggestions that you can deliver, like here or in Telegram group. So
Yeah, offers for Indians will be great. I'll share some payment methods after this session. Uh, Last question from me is about the predictions. There is an option on HodlHodl for predicting something, and you can bet some Bitcoin on it. And you can have a counterparty who is betting against you. So I had personally used it once to predict BTC price. I actually lost the bet, but it was a good experience. Like I really liked the user interface and the user experience and overall the steps which were involved, and it was a non-custodial way to be betting on something. So that is something you can even promote, because I have not seen similar thing on any other peer-to-peer exchange.
Yeah, we have this prediction markets. We released this last. Um, it's a non-custodial peer-to-peer prediction market. So, for example, you can bet that BTC price will more than $10,000 by the end of May, and I will bet against you. We will lock bitcoins in multisig escrow address, and then the winner will get this. What we do now with prediction markets is we didn't put a lot of marketing effort to that in order to promote. In the beginning of May, we're going to start a redesign process for predictions, because now we're redesigning UI UX for HodlHodl, and we're going to be working on prediction markets as well. And it will be way more simpler. We wanted to add more fun to prediction markets that we have built, and you can use it already. But I think, well, in May, in June, it will be way more easier to use it. So it's a working product. I don't think there's any other peer-to-peer trading platform that actually allows you to do also, except for exchanges, there also allows you to do a predictions. So that's one interesting thing. We hope we will simplify it and make it way more user friendly. And we're actually going to release a third product as well as part of HodlHodl in June, but it's a secret project. I won't be able to share this with you, but feel free to follow our news. And again, I'm happy to hear any suggestions from you guys and from Indian community to improve, so that we will see something in India. Because yeah, the market is big, and surprisingly, that's I think that's the only one big market that we're not seeing any proper activity on. Again, happy to discuss.
Sure, I'll try my best to spread the word about HodlHodl, because you're doing a good job, and I really like the exchange. I think I missed one question, which was about open sourcing the exchange. You had announced this last year, I guess, in some conference. So I had even emailed about it. Can you share some details, like what are your plans on open sourcing exchange, and what are the details you can publicly share about it?
Yeah, well, we've announced this last year in September on Baltic Honey Badger conference that we're going to open source HodlHodl. We actually already started this process. There are parts of Exchange that are already open source. You can go to hodlhodl.com, and in the footer of the website, you will see the open source section. You can click on that and check out which parts are already open source. We are moving slower than we expected, gradually, and we're doing our part of job here. So hopefully by the end of 2020 or by the beginning of 2021, we will be able to open source HodlHodl full. So yeah, we just want to make it more censorship resistant, so that anyone can copy paste parts of our technology or technologies that we've built it by ourselves for this past 3-4 years, and maybe create their own, like, I don't know, local trading desks or something like that. We're more than happy to provide people with tools. So yeah, something like that.
So for the people who are not familiar with the open sourcing of an exchange or don't understand this, like let me explain in a simple terms. Uh, if I plan to create a exchange or launch an exchange for Indian traders in future, I can create my own website, an exchange, and in the background, everything will be working on HodlHodl. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it will be working on based on our tag if you want to take our tag. But if you want just to take a liquidity pool from HodlHodl, then you can use our API that's already available. So there's two ways of doing this. One, you want to build your exchange, but you don't want to touch HodlHodl liquidity pool, and maybe you want to do something different. So you take the base tag that we have. Which you will be able to extract when we will complete the open source project. Or if you want to build your website, let's say for example, there's one website in Latin America that uses our API to show offers that we have. It's called yadio.io. I think it's one of the most popular Latin American liquidity aggregators and websites. So you can just take an API. You will your users will see the offer list that we have on HodlHodl, and maybe they will be willing to trade through that offer list, or they will be willing to publish their own offers, and you will see you will have a traffic right away, and you will have some kind of referral payouts as well. So yeah, something like that.
Okay, so open sourcing an exchange makes it possible for other people to use your tech.
Yeah, open sourcing the exchange makes possible for other people to use our tech in order to build their own exchanges.
Okay, so we can end this session. I'll be uploading the recording of this session on YouTube and SoundCloud. I'll share the link with you later. And thank you so much for joining us for this session. And it was great having you. And hopefully we'll have more traders on HodlHodl in future from India.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you want to ask any question, you have any problem with onboarding on HodlHodl, you want to publish trade, you want to publish an offer, feel free to reach me out. I'm in Bitcoin Only India group. Pranyak knows my credits, so feel free to reach me out any other way. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. Hopefully we'll see more trades in India on HodlHodl soon. Thank you.